Look up at the night sky for a while. Let your gaze soften until you're not trying to name the stars or count them. Just look. See the faint glow of light that began its journey long before this moment existed. Imagine the space between those stars, an ocean of silence so deep you could fall into it forever and never touch the bottom. In that vastness, everything you have ever known, every joy, every sorrow, every thought is just a small ripple in an endless sea. And yet, here you are, aware of it all. This is the astonishing thing. The universe is out there, infinite and wild, and at the same time, there is a universe within you, just as vast, just as mysterious. That inner universe is not made of stars and dust, but of thoughts, emotions, sensations, and memories. It is a constant unfolding, a river that never stops moving. The sound of your breathing, the feeling of your body sitting or standing, the faint hum of electricity in the walls, the memory of a conversation, the worry about something that hasn't happened yet. All of it is flowing, moment by moment. But what is it that notices this flow? What is it that sees, hears, feels, remembers, and thinks? What is this simple, undeniable fact that you are aware? It is tempting to answer quickly. It's the brain. And in one sense, that is true. The brain is the most extraordinary biological instrument we know. Billions of neurons firing, creating patterns so intricate that they can imagine, plan, dream, and love. But stop for a moment. When you feel sadness, where is that feeling before the brain labels it? When you watch a sunset and feel awe, is the awe just a chemical reaction? Or is it the meeting point between something physical and something far more subtle? Perhaps the brain is like a finely tuned lens, focusing the light of awareness into the form we call human experience. The lens is necessary for the image to appear, but the light is not created by the lens. The music comes through the instrument, but the music is not the wood or the strings. The question is, when the instrument is set down, does the music end, or does it simply find another way to be heard? In your daily life, your experience is a tapestry woven from countless threads. Sensations arrive from the outside world, the scent of coffee, the sound of rain, the warmth of the sun. Your mind recognizes and labels them: pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Memories rise up to compare them to the past. Emotions bloom in response. And through all of this, there is an open space in which everything is happening, the space of awareness. You might think of yourself as the one who owns these experiences, the solid me at the center. But look closer. The body changes over years. The mind you had as a child is not the mind you have now. Your feelings today may be different tomorrow. Even your sense of identity, the way you describe yourself, changes over time. If everything about you can change, then what is the constant you're holding on to? It is like a river flowing endlessly, yet never the same water twice. You cannot point to one drop and say, "This is the river," because the river is the movement itself. You cannot point to one moment in your life and say, "This is me," because what you are is not a fixed moment. It is the unfolding. And in that unfolding, nothing stands alone. Everything you experience is connected to something else. The tree outside your window exists because of sunlight, soil, and water. Your breath exists because of the air the trees release. Your thoughts exist because of your memories, your senses, your surroundings. Even your awareness right now depends on countless conditions. The fact that you can hear these words, understand their meaning, and focus your attention for this moment. When you see this clearly, consciousness itself becomes less of a possession and more of a process, a living, moving presence that depends on conditions, just as a flame depends on oxygen. It changes shape depending on what it meets. In moments of stress, it feels small and tight. In moments of love, it feels expansive. In deep rest, it becomes quiet and still. And yet there are times when awareness seems to reach beyond the ordinary boundaries. Maybe you've had moments when everything became quiet inside, not because you forced it, but because the world was so beautiful or intense that thought stopped. A moment of breathtaking scenery, a near-death experience, a profound encounter with another person's soul, or maybe in meditation, when the usual restlessness fades, you've touched that luminous stillness that seems untouched by time. This luminosity is not a physical light. It is the natural clarity of mind when it is free from noise. It is the open sky revealed when the clouds part. It has always been there, even when hidden. And when you rest in it, something remarkable happens. Fear loosens its hold. The fear of loss, the fear of change, even the fear of death, they begin to dissolve. Death, from this perspective, is not a wall but a doorway. Just as a candle can light another candle without anything solid being transferred, awareness may continue beyond the body, carrying forward the patterns and imprints formed in life, not as a fixed entity, but as a continuation of the great flow. If this is so, then how you live now matters deeply. Every action, every word, every thought is a seed planted in the field of awareness. Over time, those seeds grow into the experiences of the future. Living with kindness, integrity, and presence plants seeds of clarity and peace. Living in fear, anger, or greed plants seeds of confusion and suffering. Seeing life this way changes how you relate to yourself and to others. The idea of being separate begins to fade. You start to feel that you're part of something much larger. The air that fills your lungs has moved through trees and oceans and countless other beings. The atoms in your body were once part of stars. You're not separate from the world. You are the world noticing itself. From this understanding, compassion arises naturally. You see that another's suffering is not entirely separate from your own. When someone is in pain, your instinct is to help, not because you're noble, but because you recognize that in helping them, you are helping the whole. Life becomes less about control and more about participation, less about protecting a fragile identity, and more about living as part of an interconnected whole. You become less reactive. You pause before speaking. You listen more than you talk. You notice the way sunlight falls on the floor, the way the air feels on your skin, the way each breath rises and falls. These small moments become sacred, not because they are rare, but because you are finally paying attention. Over time, presence becomes your home. You make decisions from a place of clarity instead of fear. Relationships deepen because you meet others as they are, not as you imagine them to be. Even your relationship with nature changes. You no longer see it as a backdrop, but as an extension of yourself. The wind is your breath. The rivers are your blood. The stars are the fires that burn in your own heart. And still, the question remains, alive and open. Does consciousness need a brain? Maybe in this life, it moves through the brain the way music moves through an instrument. But the music is not the instrument. And when one instrument falls silent, the music may continue in another form, in another way we cannot yet imagine. Perhaps the greater truth is that you don't need to close the question at all. The deeper freedom may come from living it, from exploring awareness directly, here and now, from letting go of the need to define it too tightly, from allowing the mystery to be as vast as it is. Because awareness is not hiding. It is here, in this breath, in this sound, in this stillness. It is here when you are happy, here when you are sad, here when you're not even thinking about it. And if you can rest in it, even for a moment, you may discover that what you are is not small, not fragile, not temporary. You are the space in which all of life unfolds, vast, open, awake.